Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. I've got a story out of National Mortgage News, and it says here, it's funny. I never read stories, right? Beforehand, I just read the headlines. And I got a buddy with me, and he was curious how I do videos. And it's right here, National Mortgage News. It's entitled "Foreclosures Start to Spike 30% as VA Lifts Foreclosure Ban." I want to talk about that, but as I started the video, you've got to log in. There's no story here. But I can talk about it because I know something about this. The VA had a ban put on foreclosures during COVID, and county governments around the nation had a ban on foreclosure sales for people that were behind in taxes. And last year, counties around the nation started lifting these bans because they're going broke. No joke. And so they started lifting these bans, and all of a sudden, all these homes started flooding into either bank foreclosures or tax foreclosures. And I have personally been studying tax deed auctions and tax lien auctions and how they work and stuff for a while, but really intently over the last 5 months. And the numbers are exploding. And you guys know I sold a course on it. As a matter of fact, I'll do the flash sale down below for both of those courses. I have students that are buying tax liens. We're just at the point now where our students in our coaching course lessons are finding incredible success. They're making anywhere between 12, 18, and what I just found out the other day, Sandy, just got 2 tax liens paid off in 2 weeks after winning the auction, making 38% because of the state's interest that paid him back, plus all the fines, the applicable fines. Well, this hasn't been the case for the last 3 years because these foreclosure bans and the tax sale bans were in place, and now they're all being lifted. Now, what's really interesting to me is that a lot of people don't understand that if you don't pay your taxes, the tax man comes and gets you. And there's no way out of that. And it's swift, it's fast. As a matter of fact, tax lien and tax deed sales, they supersede mortgages. Most people don't know that. The mortgage company's out. As a matter of fact, I've been to auctions where people are showing up and trying to pay their taxes, even though they've been behind for was it a year, something like that sometimes. And banks are sitting there, bank representatives are sitting there bidding on the properties right along people like myself. It's crazy because I said that you're going to see this massive spike in the spring. And as of right now, I'm just looking at the news. I'm looking at foreclosures. VA moratorium expiration triggers uptick in foreclosure starts, right? Here, let's see if that story comes up. Okay, this one comes up. It says, the expiration of the Department of Veteran Affairs foreclosure moratorium has triggered a sharp increase in foreclosure activity, but broader housing market conditions suggest that distress levels remain relatively contained. Well, the reason why it says that is because it takes banks a certain amount of time once this moratorium has been lifted to start doing action, filing documents, things like that. A lot of banks right now, truth be told, do not want the public press on them that they're foreclosing a bunch of properties. And the reason why is because once they foreclose, they've got to take a loss on their books. And there are a lot of banks that would rather show less in payments per month than an actual write down. I don't think a lot of people understand that. Banks want to push off this bad news. Why? Because if all of a sudden they start to have problems, we see the Fed come out with all these stress tests every once in a blue moon, year, 2 years, whatever. Then all of a sudden, regulatory scrutiny comes on top of them, especially these mid-tier banks. Remember that different types of banks, whether it be credit unions love to make loans in the auto industry, and they love to make loans in the home equity lines, right? Mid-tier banks, regional banks love to give loans in CRE. That's why we've been seeing a lot of them plunge, right? In the last couple of years, we've seen a handful of them go under. As a matter of fact, a handful of those banks that went under, in 2023, 2024, equaled a dollar amount to the same size as the entire banking collapse of 2008. Yet it all went under the rug. Well, now think about this. Type 1, if you've been watching all of the Doge actions and Trump and Elon Musk going and cleaning house in the government and all this fraud, waste, and abuse that's coming out, you're just blown away. Type 1, if you're one of those people that are like, I cannot believe this is going on. Now, we all had a feeling, right? You watch people like Nancy Pelosi come in as an old housewife and barely worth anything, and now she's worth hundreds of millions of dollars because she's doing not only insider trading, but we're finding out that these politicians are on the dole taking your tax money, my tax money, and putting it in their pocket. And then they're starting shell companies in other countries. You're going to find that out in probably about 5 to 6 weeks. I bet you they find out that, birth control in India, that money actually went to this corporation that actually is tied to a family member of a congressperson. This is how life is really working, right? Well, let's tie it back into real estate. You see, banks don't want you to know that they're collapsing. So the FDIC that already said it was insolvent, like a year ago, this is just a fact. They actually said, we have no more money. So they had to go to the bigger banks and say, we need you to cough up money because the Fed told us that the small and regional banks don't have enough money for the higher insurance. And then we literally saw like 5 of the largest bank CEOs go to Congress and get pissed off in front of Congress and say, hey, why should we be footing the bill for these other banks? Our entire banking industry has been collapsing during the Biden administration. Yet there are so many people because we all voted for a change, right? This ain't Barack Obama's change. This is some real, like, you're fired change. And I'm going to say amen if you agree with that. This is the kind of change we've been wanting. But the thing is all of the damage has already been done. Trump himself has said there's going to be pain. I've heard the word depression come out of his mouth and other people's mouths before. Like, I don't think people understand this. And not only that, when you fire a bunch of people, those people are now going to be losing their house. Now, the question is, because I've gotten this comment before, and they're like, I can't believe, Ninja, that you would tell people that it's good to go and buy foreclosed homes. You're profiting off of other people's misfortune. Well, first off, those people's misfortune is their fault. That's it. I've lost my income before. I had half my income stripped away. I had 6 months of all of my bills, and all I had was 6 mortgages, but I had 6 months of all those 6 mortgages saved up. My mother died, my renter died in our rental, and I lost, it was like almost half of my monthly income because of insurance fraud. Well, guess what? That 6 months of savings went away really fast because of 3 tragedies in my life that all happened within like 3 or 4 months. It was like the perfect storm financially. Did I go and ask my daddy for a loan? No, I did not. I almost lost my home. I bootstrapped and worked 7 days a week, and I did it like a man. It's my responsibility. When I signed the loan docs, I signed a personal guarantee. Now, there are a lot of people that'll sit there and say, hey, you know what, you're being a little harsh. You don't understand. There are people that get sick. I know, like my mom. I've seen this. I've had to deal with illness in my immediate family. And one reason why I left the fire department. But you know what? I left the fire department because I'd been saving for 25 years and investing, pretending that I didn't have a retirement. I didn't hope that somebody else would save my life. So you know what? I'm going to go make money, and I think you should too, when other people make dumb mistakes. Because that's going to happen. Are you a lion or are you a sheep? In 2008, a bunch of sheep lost their homes because they borrowed against them. And I'm going to tell you from experience, people that I hung out with, friends, pulling up in brand new trucks, RVs, toy haulers, dirt bikes, mountain bikes, going on vacations. It was hard, but we stayed quiet, my family. We were saving. We were working hard. We watched them all go through bankruptcies. Ironically, they're all in new houses 3 months later. To this day, they still can't survive and retire if they wanted to because they're broke. That's their decision. My decision was to work hard and bootstrap. So let me ask you a question. Type poor or rich. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to be rich? Or do you want to be poor? Because you got to say it out loud, because a lot of people walk around acting like they're rich, but they're actually dirt broke. Well, got any of my fancy stuff with me, but my point being is, you got people running around with Louis Vuitton bags. I watched Tony Robbins the other day. He goes down, he's all, hey, who's got a Louis Vuitton bag? And this lady picks up this bag, all excited. She's like, look at, he comes out. No, Tony just became a billionaire, right? Like 6 months ago, on paper. And he grabs the bag and he picks it up. He goes, you bought this? You paid for this? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, no, you didn't. Your husband did. Straight up. This is what happened to the audience. And the husband's shaking his head because he goes, and he just asked her, he's like, do you work? I mean, he straight up just calls her out. And he goes, how much you pay for this thing? And she goes, $3,500. He goes, $3,500. Do you have the money for this? Like, just mind blown, right? And a lot of people, in 2008 or 2007, when I'd already sold all my homes to prepare for that crash. I'd started selling in '05. By 2006, I was out of the market, right? Nobody wanted to hang out with me. Nobody wanted to be my friend. Everybody hated me. I was the doom and gloom guy, right? None of them even knew we had 14 homes, rentals, things like that, flip properties, stuff like that. Because we stayed quiet, nose the grindstone kind of thing. And I watched all those people that would tell me, no, dude, I paid cash for this. I'm like, oh, hey, just curious, you have an equity line in your house? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, if you mean that, did I pay cash? Yeah, I use the equity line to pay cash. They're just completely deceived. So here's the question. Do you want to take advantage of this, or do you want the banks to take advantage of this? Because the banks are going to take all those homes. Or somebody else is going to learn how to use tax lien and tax deed auctions, where you could sit at your house and just type on the computer and bid on auctions. And no joke, make 16%, 32% in as little as a month if they redeem them within that fast. Or worst case scenario, you get that in a year, and it's guaranteed by the property. There's no actual, other than treasuries, there's nothing that's guaranteed by the government. The government says, hey, if you don't get paid, all you have to do is file a document with the county government, and we're either going to sell the house or we're going to force that payment. Trust me, you're getting paid. It's the craziest thing ever. So if you want to learn how to do it, there's a sale link down below. And just so you know, when I set out to make that course, and I honestly believe it's the best course in the nation, I went to all these other courses that charge $1,000, $5,000, and some of them up to $50,000, and I made mine better. That's all I did. It's like, go look at the cost. Judge for yourself. I've already got students winning, and I want to see you win. If you want to be a winner or you want to be a loser, that's completely up to you. But you have to understand this. It's truly up to you. Nobody else. Nobody's going to put your pants on for you in the morning, and nobody's going to look in the mirror and look back and answer for you when you go, am I proud of myself? Am I doing everything I can for my family? Didn't mean to get that serious, but this kind of stuff just blows me away. We have a housing crisis right now. Like, seriously, I just bought a house here today, like 18% under value, and the owners are super pissed off because they had to accept my offer because after a year, nobody's coming to buy their house. And I'm already watching other properties go for 30% under the peak of a year and a half ago. And it's happening all over the nation. You're just now seeing it hit the news, and by the time it hits the news, it's too late because they're going off of historical data. Oh yeah, the housing market's crashing in Austin. No, now it's crashing all in Texas. Oh yeah, it's going all down in Florida. Oh yeah, it's not looking good in California. They can't sell. That's historical data. That means it's already happened. All right, if you're going to the news, it's already happened. That's why 2.5 years ago, I taught that real estate cycles course to say, get ready, because if you buy a house now, you don't got much more time because it's already cupping and it's about to collapse. So there's a lot of bag holders in this country. So you want to be a winner, you want to be a loser. You don't even need to take my course. There's tons of books, or you can go to you could do whatever you want. Go learn it. Go learn it. Just go get a book. Start reading right now. You'll be successful. All right. That was a horrible sales pitch, but whatever, it's the truth. The Economic Ninja is out.